Vloggers POW.
Alright, so now it's time to look at 4 more Japanese-only PlayStation 1 games. So, first off, we've got Horned Owl. So, now this is a light gun game, so currently my current capture setup doesn't allow me to use a light gun while capturing from a PlayStation 2, so let's see how this goes.
Check.
So you selected 2 characters, Kuroto and Marco. So lovely. Yeah, let's go with Marco because he's at my age. Yeah. No, that's his code, not his age. They're both too young. Oh, whatever. Now the animation cutscenes here are pretty cool, and I really think the character designs are very reminiscent of Masamune Shiro from Appleseed, Ghost in the Shell, that sort of thing. I don't know if it actually is his work or not, but it definitely looks like it. So you obviously with a normal light gun you'd shoot and then you'd shoot off the screen to reload, and you press the shoulder button to reload because it dips the crosshair just off the screen. And you've got some grenades as well. Doesn't appear to be rapid fire. Oh, best not shoot civilian, I guess. So it appears to be the point here is to shoot some robot things before they take over the world or something. Probably some AI went mad or something, and robots are taking over, and before you know it, the robots are in control and nobody gets any toilet breaks because, you know, robots don't need to shit usually. This is a very early PlayStation game, 1995 I think, and of course, being on this video, it was Japanese only. I just wish there was a rapid fire function. This is really quite tedious to do it like this. Oh, let's have a grenade for that big thing. Yep, that's dead. Oh, shoot things out the bullets out the sky, because that's what you do in shoot 'em ups like this. Interesting though, because obviously this is quite an early PlayStation game. It is also released after the arcade version of Virtual Cop. I think the Saturn version came out the same year as this. So it's a bit of a throwback really to have a sprite based, albeit scaling, light gun style shooter. And of course, also being a early PlayStation game, there's no DualShock support, or analog support should I say. Shield's looking okay, 89% shield. It would be a hell of a lot more fun with a light gun. If you've got one of those green Konami Hyper Blaster guns, that would be compatible with this, I'd imagine, as would some of your other light guns. Your Time Crisis gun would not be compatible because there's those 2 formats of light guns on the PlayStation, Namco ones and non-Namco ones. In fact, I think Konami set the standard for light guns, at least with this game, I believe. So, having said that, talking about sprite scaling, it does have polygon backgrounds by the looks of things. They're textured and than that, but the sprites are very resolutely sprites. Again, I'm going to say it again, I wish there was a rapid fire function. Am I missing something? I don't know. Oh, hold on. Right, okay. You can hold it down, I think. Yeah, and you can release a spread. It's not a lock-on as I thought it might be. It's like a shotgun blast almost. So that's interesting. Okay, so that's a little bit more interesting. Another big one. Yeah, it's just all a bit pedestrian, isn't it? Literally walking around. It's supposed to be in some kind of powered mech suit. It's just not quite powered enough, is it? It's a bit wandering. I think there's probably, aside from the obvious Time Crisis comparisons, are some better such games on the system. Oh dear. Taking a couple of hits there. Oh, reload. I'm sure the little targeting reticles that come up from some of these things are targeting on the ones that are going to do you harm. And Quistis from Final Fantasy VIII keeps popping up and giving me some advice in Japanese, which I don't understand. Oh, lightning attacks from something. What's going on there then? Better float up here and find out. And there is a Power Ranger. Hello, Power Ranger. Oh, and he's got... what? And he just disappeared. Looks like he made a hole in the freeway there. There's another pothole that's not going to get fixed for another 20 years, is it? We're going in circles. This all looks very familiar. I can shoot those signs. What's boss? And that really does look Appleseed, doesn't it? It's like an evil version of Briareos from Appleseed. Have a grenade, Briareos. hit by his random M&M attack, and he's toast. Oh, well, that was quite a big explosion. So yeah, bit of out of its time somewhat, but interesting nonetheless. Let's move along. Right, after that incredibly scary rendered version of the Sailor Moon intro, here's Sailor Moon Super S. What can I say? I like anime, but there's some things I draw the line at, and Sailor Moon's one of them. Anyway, so yeah, well, let's just jump straight in. Now, other Sailor Moon games up to this point had been puzzle games or side-scrolling fighting games, you know, so like a belt scroller sort of thing. So I do recall this being actually a one-on-one fighter. So let's choose Sailor Mars because, and yeah, I've no idea. I've just picked some stuff and another thing, and oh, I get to add some attributes here for something or another. I really don't know. Yeah, okay, brilliant. Start. Customize system. Ability customize system. Sailor Mars versus Sailor Moon. Or Super Sailor Moon as it says there. And yes, you can automatically see the problem with this. It's horrible pre-rendered sprites, and not even particularly good ones. They look dreadful. Oh dear. And you've got your... what the hell? You've got your normal sort of Street Fighter style Dragon Punch and Fireball sort of things, and I'm not sure how I did that super specially thing. Was it a great big inflatable heart? I've no idea how I did that fireball motion. Oh well, there's a snake thing. But this is painful to play. It's so slow. I wonder if the Rise of the Robots thing works so you can just do low kicks all the time. I mean, in terms of fluidity, it is really just maybe one notch higher than Rise of the Robots. It really is slow and painful. I would say that Twin Goddesses that I played a few months ago is arguably better than this. That's not saying much, obviously. God, what's wrong with her face? I mean, Sailor Moon's face, what is wrong with that? I don't mean the thing at the top, I mean the pose of the sprite there. Alright, let's see if any shoulder buttons do anything. No, we've got 4 buttons. I've absolutely no idea how this even got past any kind of quality control. This is a mess. It really is a mess. Oh, and there's a... supposed to be a slow motion thing there, but oh, I don't know. Okay, we're going to do the last round, and yeah. Again, those sprites are absolutely diabolical, aren't they? I mean, this is 1996. This is the year Street Fighter Alpha came out, isn't it? 1996? I mean, granted, the PlayStation version of Street Fighter Alpha wasn't the best version, but God, it was much better than this. I mean, Tekken 2 came out this year, didn't it? I can only imagine this was just like a quick tie-in thing for fans of the TV show and the anime and the manga and the lunchbox and whatever else you've got of Sailor Moon stuff, but oh well. Okay, let's move along. Right, so next up, bit of a change of pace. This is IS, internal section. Welcome to the Devil's Kaleidoscope, apparently. So I've had this a while. I've played it, but I don't actually remember it. But let's from what I remember, it's a sort of shooter. Let's have a look, see how we go with this. Yeah, there's the fire button. So yeah, it's a tunnel shooter. It's a bit like Tempest, I suppose. Oh, very trippy. No, not quite. It is like Tempest, but it's also a bit like Gyrus as well, I suppose, isn't it? But it's really nice graphics, and it's worth noting this came out in what 1999, so Res was still a few years away. So I was wondering if this was an influence on Res, or maybe some of the same people worked on it. There seems to be a thing along the top that says monkey, bird and dog. Oh, different weapons. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Sheep. That's a Llama Soft reference. Sheep. I'm sure our friend Jeff Minter would probably dig this, I think. Horse seems to be like an rapid explosion. Snake is like this homing laser. I'm not sure how effective that is. Dragon is predictably enough a flamethrower. Rabbit is a bouncy weapon, so tiger. Oh, some electrical ball things. Ox is giant cowpats. Brilliant. Rat is what we started with. Boar is this laser thing. That's interesting. It throws up like options. Dog is this homing one. Bird is this, I don't know, tweety one. I don't know. Monkey is like a circular three-way. That's interesting. Ooh. Let's go back to something which. Back to the rat one because we know how that works. It's fairly straightforward. I wonder if there's different weapons will help me through different stages here. But I am enjoying this. I have played it before, but I really don't remember it. Oh crap. On stage 1, and apparently there's an eraser as well there. Go with the eraser. Oh, I see. So that just sends a like a wave down the tunnel. Yes, fairly impressive. I wonder why this only stayed in Japan. This would have been. I mean, there's no Japanese text in it, what I've seen, and it's fairly accessible to all. You would have thought this would have made it out to Japan. It's also a Squaresoft game, so which again, it's an unusual one. There's obviously a lot of effort that's gone into this. It's definitely interesting. Oh shit. Lucky I've got an extra life. Let's see how the monkey three-way goes. Whoa! I don't know if I'm actually hitting this boss at all, but oh, I see. It seems to be now skittering around. Oh no! Oh, and then we're dead. That's surprisingly really good fun. Yeah, internal section. If you can grab a copy of that and you've got the means to play Japanese PlayStation games, that's really worth having a look for. Yeah, I do recommend that. It's really good. Okay, now again from Squaresoft, Tobal 2, the follow-up to Tobal number 1. And it's obviously a fighting game. I always seem to want a piece of that sweet Tekken 2 pie at this point, so Squaresoft was no exception and released Tobal number 1, which did come out in the UK, and Tobal number 2, which did not. One of the differences being this is probably controls a bit more like a Virtua Fighter or Dead or Alive. And I have played this like centuries ago. It's no, you haven't got a dedicated block button. I believe you've got a back button to block, or it's your shoulder button to block, I believe. There's another one of those must-have a polygon fighter games from the late 90s. You know, there was all sorts of different ones, and loads of different companies tried to get onto that bandwagon that Tekken and Virtua Fighter had started. And Capcom had a bash with Star Gladiator, and there was the Bloody Raw games and Versus, and there was loads of them at the time. And this one, well, at least the first one, this one I don't think looks as good. The first one had really, really crisp, high resolution graphics and traded off with the texture mapping. This one seems to have gone not quite as high resolution as the first, but has got more texture mapping and shading to the characters.
Ready?
Now, one thing this game does have, which I won't go into because it's quite intensive, is a quest mode. Which is like an RPG sort of thing. Which apparently is very good if you can get into it, but I've never really put much effort in, and again it's all in Japanese, so you know, what are you going to do? So there we go, we've defeated the first character, which is the palette swap of the character I've picked. And the backgrounds are nice, but it's just, considering Tekken 3 was probably not far off. I can't remember what year Tekken 3 was released. This was 97, Tekken 2 was 96, so I'm not entirely sure. I don't think this is as technically savvy as maybe it could have been. Oh dear, I just got completely rinsed by that guy. Character designs in this are by Akira Toriyama, the Dragon Ball Z artist, and I'll be honest, I have never really enjoyed his work. Obviously he's done lots of character designs for the likes of Chrono Trigger and the Dragon Quest series, and I've just never really enjoyed his artwork at all. Well, that was a conversation on Twitter yesterday about Dragon Ball Z Budokai, and well, I hadn't played it because I'm not a Dragon Ball fan. I suppose if push came to shove, it's not a bad fighter, but to be honest, you're going to play Tekken, or you're going to play Virtua Fighter on the Saturn, or Bloody Raw. There were so many fighters available at the time, but this is not a particularly enjoyable one, I'm sorry to say. But again, you might be able to find it out there nice and cheap, so might be worth picking up. Who knows?
Continue.
So there was 4 more Japanese PlayStation games that only got a release there. I'm running out of these ones. What should I cover next? Comment below.
Subscribe or naff off.